Hello everyone, welcome to Doctor Story. I'm Anchal Aurora, content head at MyCare. Liver. Liver is a vital organ of the human body. You may not think much of your liver, hidden as it is deep inside your body. But not only is it your largest internal organ, it is in charge of hundreds of different functions. Without liver, life is not possible. Today we have with us Dr. Selva Kumar, Director of the Institute of Liver Transplantation and a renowned liver specialist of Apollo Hospital, Chennai, who will discuss and help us learn the ways to keep your liver healthy. Well, thank you so much, Doctor, for joining in, and a warm welcome to Doctor Story.
Good morning, Anchal.
So, Doctor, in the simplest terms, what is the role of this organ?
This organ, you mean liver, which is one of the vital organs in the body. It is important for almost all the life activities which happens in the body. Main role is in the metabolism of nutrients which we consume daily to keep ourselves alive. So it's important in the metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So any dysfunction in this will lead to abnormalities in metabolism, thereby complications related to that.
What would cause liver damage then? What are the causes of liver damage?
As I said, it's mainly involved in metabolism of nutrients. So anything which is to do with this nutrients can damage the liver and its tissues. Liver is a complex organ which has a lot of blood vessels in it, along with a lot of tissues doing filtration function, doing secretion function, production of a lot of proteins which are essential for blood coagulation and blood circulation, and also in excretion of waste metabolites like excess fatty acids and cholesterols from the body. So anything which impedes the balance of these things can cause damage to the liver. So the commonest cause as of now is overeating. Liver has a certain capacity to metabolize the nutrients. When the load increases, when the people start overeating, then it damages the liver. Obviously, the liver suffers from failure to metabolize those nutrients. This can happen because of non-cooperation from other organs also. Like, if we eat food, it has to be supported by enough amount of insulin secreted by the pancreas for it to be properly digested and metabolized. So if the pancreas is not supporting, and that's a situation called diabetes mellitus, even if the patient is eating normally, with support from pancreas, that will be a burden on the liver. So the situation of diabetes mellitus can damage the liver. So as I said, the first cause is overeating. Second cause is diabetes mellitus. In addition to this, there are a lot of viruses named from alphabetical orders from A to E. These viruses have a specific affinity towards liver tissues, that can damage the liver. In addition to that, there are a lot of complications occurring from malformations in the blood circulation to the liver. More than that, a lot of cancers, they have a liking for liver. Cancers elsewhere in the body, they also have a liking for liver. They can go and settle in the liver. These are the causes, commonest causes of liver failure, which we come across in our day-to-day clinical practice.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor, for explaining in such simple terms. When we talk about liver damage, in normal day-to-day routine, what can we actually do to prevent liver damage?
since we have found out the cause for liver diseases, then if we are able to prevent these causes effectively, then we will be able to safeguard our livers. So basically, we should concentrate on the foods we eat. Is not overeat, like if we today is a world of internet, and anything and everything is available on the internet. But in addition to that, it's better to consult concerned doctors also to clarify that information. Because if you type in Google what is the daily requirement of calories, it will show around 2500 calories per day for 24 hours. But that's not true for you and me. It's true for somebody who is really working hard, who is lifting heavy weights, who is into hard labor. But for people like you and me, who are doing clinical work, not much active except for daily routine of half an hour to 1 hour exercises, for us 900 to 1000 calories is more than enough to keep ourselves going. So anything more than that is overeating. It will present with gain of weight, gain of fat, and this fat in turn goes and gets deposited in the liver, and later on it starts damaging the liver. So it's very important to analyze the caloric requirement of everybody, and to stick to the routine. That is the first and foremost thing which everybody can and have to do to safeguard their livers. Having said that, next commonest cause is metabolic disorders like diabetes mellitus and thyroid disorders. Whoever has these diseases, they should regularly visit their doctors and keep a strict control of diabetes. There are people who say, doctor, I'm having diabetes for 10 years and I'm on medication for 10 years. And I take insulin also for 10 years. But one thing they should be very clear, whether this treatment of diabetes for the 10 years has been regular or irregular, whether diabetes is under strict control, that they should be very clear. There is no point in just taking medicines irregularly, taking insulin irregularly without supervision, without proper control. That can damage the liver. So the most important causes hepatitis B and C viruses, which can cause chronic hepatitis and liver failure later on. And in today's world, these two viruses are very easy to treat, provided they are ready to approach the correct doctor and take the medicines regularly. Of course, these are chronic diseases, so they need long-term treatment. Unlike if you have fever, you can take medicine for 5 days and it will get cured. But these hepatitis viruses need months of treatment to get cured. So taking proper medications will keep you away from liver damages related to these viruses. I think these basic things are enough to safeguard the liver in 95% of the cases. Of course, 5% of liver damages are very rare, and they are out of control to be managed by people themselves. They need some expert guidance to control and treat.
So, doctor, can we say it's all about a healthy diet, exercise, and then regular checkups that would help stay away from any type of damage to the liver?
Watch your calories, how much, what type of work you're doing, and you eat accordingly. Don't overeat.
So, doctor, we have also heard of the term fatty liver. How can we define what is a fatty liver?
As I said, when you start eating more, when there are more calories disproportionate to the requirement, the body starts converting these calories into fat. It's a natural defense mechanism. When our ancestors were living in uncertain times of natural calamities, wherever there is food available, they used to eat more. They used to feast more to have to store energy in the body for future days. But what happens is when they eat more, that is converted into fat and it is stored in the body. So mostly fat under the skin, fat under the belly, and then that fat gets stored in the liver. But when they start starving without food for a long time, all this fat gets utilized. So this was a survival mechanism developed for any member of the animal kingdom to survive in this planet. But today's situation is not there. There is a lot of security and prediction and food availability and everything in the society. So it's better to eat, eat what is needed for your metabolism, how much you are going to spend every day. Even in the same family, 5 members are there. One may be working hard, one may be doing regular workouts, one may not be that sharp, but doing all those things. So the caloric requirement differs between the same family members in the same age group. So what I would like to say is watch your calories. And if you do not watch your calories, what happens? The excess calories get stored as fat in the liver, and if the stored fat is not taken care of, if it is not burnt out properly by exercising or controlling the diet, it keeps on accumulating. When the accumulation goes beyond a critical point, then that is called fatty liver disease. That fat starts damaging the liver. That is called a non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. That when the damage starts, when the damage is more prolonged, then it takes you to a different situation called cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is an irreversible phenomenon. As long as the liver has fat, you can do something to get your liver back. When the liver sets in, when the cirrhosis sets in, then you cannot get your liver back. You need to get a new liver. That is the situation.
So with
And
this
still,
new, yes.
I forgot to tell you one commonest think of liver damage, that is alcoholic liver damage, which is also very rampant in the society, which has to be controlled, which is a social problem, which has to be controlled.
So, doctor, if someone is diagnosed or has fatty liver, what he has to do now to reduce the same and stay healthy? Is it about, again, the calorie thing or the non-consumption of alcohol and then the regular checkup? What would be the first step for him or her who is having a fatty liver or diagnosed with a fatty one?
See, many of the times this fatty liver disease is diagnosed during a master health checkup, or they go to a doctor with different complaints. Doctor, I'm having some vague abdominal discomfort. Then the doctor does an ultrasound or a scan, some other scans. Then they pick up this fatty liver, jaundice, or anything specific like that. It will be some vague symptoms. Doctor, I'm not feeling fatigue. I'm not feeling that I have enough energy. These are the common things which takes them to a general doctor. So they get evaluated. Either they go for a master health check or they evaluated for their specific organs, and they come out with this finding of fatty liver disease. Once this is confirmed, it is better to consult a liver specific doctor. He will be able to assess what are the causes of this fatty liver disease. In addition to alcohol and overeating, there are many more causes. Even though they form 95% of the causes, there are 5% unknown, unrelated causes also. So the liver specific doctor will check all these causes and find out what exactly is the cause of your fatty liver. Then he may and what is the extent of damage. He will be able to quantify the amount of fat in the liver, either it is 10%, 20%, 30%.
Okay.
Then he will be able to prescribe you either it can be started out with just with diet, or you need to add exercise to it, or you need to for how long it has to be done. The doctor will be able to give a roadmap how to sort out this problem.
So, doctor, as you mentioned in the previous question about the liver change, as in the liver transplant, do we have any alternative for liver transplant? Can it be prevented, or can we do something else that we don't have to get our liver transplant? Can it be treated without transplantation?
As I said, as long as the disease is in a reversible stage, that is fatty liver, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis stage, then you can get back your liver, own liver, with the help of doctors. They will be able to
Okay.
solve the problem with proper combination of diet, exercises, and medications. But if cirrhosis sets in, then you will not be able to get back your liver. You have to get a new liver for your survival. Yeah.
So, how long is the process of liver transplant?
If you want to know about the process of liver transplant, nowadays it has become very simple. It was started more than 35 years ago with a lot of struggles. Now it has become very simple. If you may not be able to believe, even I couldn't believe the last transplant I did. The patient went home in 3 days.
Oh.
Evening only patient wanted to eat. He had a full plate of idlis. Next day he passed motion and he started walking around, and he said, "Doctor, I'm feeling completely energetic." So I had to just for completing his antibiotic course, I had to keep him in the hospital for 3 days, and then third day evening he went home. So liver transplantation has become much easier nowadays because of the number of transplants which are happening around the globe. There are more and more trained professionals, and the teams have become much more experienced. Of course, it's a team effort. It's like other specialties. It's a whole team effort. So the teams have become more experienced, which have led to improved patient outcomes.
Wow, that's a great news. When we talk about the transplant, doctor, what's the health requirement of the donor here?
Liver transplant, there are two types of transplant. One is cadaveric transplant and living donor transplant. In cadaveric transplant, you need to register in the respective hospitals and go on a waiting list. As and when the organ is available, it will be allotted to the patient based on the waiting list. Whereas in a living donor transplant, you have to come with a family member. Either near or a distant relative. Unrelated transplants are not. It can be done. It can be done, but it will be cumbersome. You need to create a lot of evidence and paperwork to prove to the court that there is no financial benefits, or there is no forcing of donors has happened. So, a donor should be a fit donor. Fit donor. We mean he should be above legal age for consent, that is above 18 years, and preferably less than 16 years, less than 60 years. So 18 to 60 is the age cutoff, and they should be free from major ailments like even mild hypertension, mild diabetes, mild thyroid illness, even mild cardiac disease. We can accept them as a donor. Major illnesses, life-threatening illnesses, we can't take them as donors. And it would be preferable if they are in the same blood group. But blood group not matching is also not a problem. Nowadays we are doing a lot of blood group mismatch transplants also. And of course, they should not have any chronic viral liver diseases like hepatitis B or C. They are contraindications. These are the basic requirements to be a liver donor.
What about the liver status of the donor post-transplant?
This liver, like hair, in the body, it regenerates. It starts growing back. The moment we take out the pores of a liver from the body, immediately the remaining liver starts growing back to its normal to compensate its physiological requirement. And as I said, it starts growing back immediately, and most of the time it's able to get back to 90 to 95% of its physiological requirement growth in 1 to 2 weeks. By the time we discharge the donors from the hospital, the liver has grown back to its physiological requirements. And many times by it continues to grow. Many times by 3 months, nearly 100% of regrowth is completed.
Oh, wow. So how much portion is required for the transplant then?
It depends on the amount of requirement by the
Okay.
patient. It is calculated based on the patient's body weight. It is a weight ratio. If a patient is 100 kilograms, he will need around 800 grams of liver. So it's a calculation based on the patient body weight.
All right. And about, as you mentioned about the cadaver transplant, how does it actually works? What's the procedure? What's the requirement? The hours that needs to be, covered before we transplant?
Yeah. Cadaveric transplant, it's much technically easier because the patient is getting a full liver. But only thing is a lot of logistical problems, and it depends on donation from other parties. So it becomes unpredictable. You will never know when you will get a liver. You can get a liver in 1 day, or you may die without getting a liver also. So these are the drawbacks of cadaveric transplant. Coming back to how it goes about in the country, if you want to get a cadaveric liver, you have to go to the liver transplant doctor and get yourself registered in the registry. You will be grouped based on the blood group, and based on the organ availability in the hospital, and MELD score, that is a amount of damage in your liver, you will be given priority. On that basis, you will get a liver, which it's emergency operation. You will never know when you will get an organ. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, you will be getting a call from the transplant coordinators that organ is available. Please come. And this is how it happens.
Okay.
And
Thank
priority
you.
is given to the Indian nationals for the chance of getting a cadaveric organ are removed.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor, for sharing such insightful information. It was indeed a pleasure having you here. And I hope you have a great rest of the day, Doctor.
Thank you, Anchal. It was nice talking to you, and hope this information reaches many needy people, because the amount of liver disease in the country keeps on rising, disproportionate to the availability of health facilities for liver damages. Thank you.
Definitely. I hope likewise, Doctor. Thank you so much. And for all those watching us online, do help us know in the comment section on which of the topic do you want us to discuss with leading doctors. We would love to hear that from you. For now, thank you so much for joining in. God bless, and we will see you in the next video.